Hey, hey, hey. Um, Happy Monday, everybody. How y'all doing, man? Let me give it a couple minutes or moments for you guys to join the live. For everyone to join. And we'll just give it a couple moments, mementos. Thank you. I'll be heading to the park. So I figured I'd go live already because, I'm limited in the time that I have today, this morning. Um, so I figured I'd get in some YouTube, maybe a little less than an hour. Yeah, I got about an hour. I would venture to say 10:20, so I'll go live till about 10:20. That'll give us an hour, and then maybe later today I'll go live on TikTok. Um, just very different TikTok's rules and what have you. So, coming on this platform and going on that platform is very, very different. Um, Welcome to the live, everybody. I think we're going to go a little bit deep in the conversation today. I'll just say that. Let me just say that. Thank you. Have a great day. I'm going to go a little bit deep today, guys, so be prepared. We're going to go a little bit deep in our convo. Because as I was driving over here to get a smoothie, I started to get more downloads. Well, when I get the downloads, I want to bring them to you guys, if that's what I'm feeling called to do, And I will say this. I was shown this. What's good? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to the live, everybody. And if you feel called, man, tap that thumbs up in the top right-hand corner if it's in your right-hand corner. And subscribe to the channel, if you know what I mean. I always got to say it because people forget, and it gets the video out to more people, as you know. Everybody knows this already. The fact of the matter is we're going to go deep today. Everybody watches my stream, my friend. Thank you for joining, my good buddy. Everybody watches it. Kundalini science. Love me some Kundalini, man. I'll tell you what. Love me some Kundalini. Thank you for joining. I've been doing Kundalini yoga for like over 3 years. I've had Kundalini activations. Thank you, my friend. I send you a lot of love. Emma, I think your name is Emma. Emma Ziga, welcome to the live, and I send you a lot of love. Thank you for joining, man. So let me just say this, man. People are changing. People are waking up. And whether they like it or not, the light that's coming on the planet is like essentially like the hand of God, It's like people, there's so many people still resisting and kicking and screaming and fighting the change that's happening or their awakening process, because we're going through the Great Awakening, Yeah, I do, man. I just send it love, man. That's it, where your attention goes, energy flows, right? So I just send the energy love, because listen, man, at the end of the day, man, God, source, the divine is trying to connect with each and every one of us daily, and to use us in a positive way. And yet there's so many people, like, it's crazy to me how many people are like fighting that connection. They'd rather be like lost and confused than connected and clear. And I hear so many people talking about like my purpose and what's my purpose and I don't know why I'm here. And yet they don't want to connect to this higher power that we're co-creating with. There's like, I understand it though, and I'm going to go, like I said, man, we're going to go a little bit deep this morning. All right. So just be prepared for that. We're going to go a little bit deep, but I understand it at the same time, because so many of us that have been here for several decades, at least, have felt like God or this higher power has turned their back on us. How could we go through the things we're going through? How could we like experience this tragedy and turmoil and chaos and it's like, the thing of it is the more and more we kick and scream, the more and more we don't trust and have faith and have that strong connection with faith, the more and more that God can't step in. Why? Because we have free will. Why? Because we get to, this planet gives us the opportunity to choose. So with free will, people get to do what they want to a certain extent. Again, God's hand is coming down on the planet, and the light that is emanating the planet is covering, blanketing the planet, is changing all of us on a daily basis. And I'm starting to understand more or understand more about, like when someone very close to us transitions and leaves the planet, how that creates a catalyst to wake up, to then find God or find source or find whatever you can find to assist you in connecting to source, whether that be like religion, whatever it is. I don't judge anyone for anything that they choose. I'm choosing to be spiritual. I'm a spiritual person and I believe in spirituality. I'm not a religious person. That's just my choice at this time in my juncture, in this time in my life. And the fact of the matter is, yeah, a lot of people have turned their back, because they felt like, well, what's the point? What's the point? Like, I don't see any reason to I think I want to go over there, man, because it's more, you can see, no, the bushes are too high there. Yeah, maybe I'll just go over here. Oh, that's a good spot that this truck is leaving, and I'll take his spot. I'm 23, and honestly, after... oh, good. I want to read your comments now, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this is a good spot. Can I have a spot of tea? Just joking around with you guys today. Being silly, So let's see. Park. Going to the park, Vicky. How have you been? Bless me and me send some positive. I'm sending positivity to you, Vicky. Trust and believe. I'm over here at the park. Check it out. Beautiful. Well, the sun's not out right now, but that's okay. It will be. So you're 23, and honestly, after... Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, that's for you. That's part of your awakening, Kimmy. Like I said, man, I was actually getting these downloads before going live, and see, if we were in the stages and phases that our parents were, or a lot of our parents were, especially if you're like in your 30s and 40s, then your parents, not everyone's, okay? Not everybody's parents stayed together for like 30, 40, 50 years, okay? I'm generalizing it. But a lot of our parents and then their parents were together for like 30, 40, 50 years. They lived in the same house, majority of almost their entirety of their life. They had the same job at a factory or something of that sort for 20, 30 years, right? And we chose to be here at this time to be the catalyst to this awakening, to this great awakening. So what has to happen? Someone that we're really close to passes away and transitions. That causes an awakening. A disease, an illness, a job loss, a relationship that has been going on for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. These are all catalysts that woke us up. Otherwise, we'd be doing the same thing and nothing would ever change, right? So hear me out. Nothing would change. We'd be in the same house. We'd never explore or experience life. We would be in the same relationship, even if it wasn't in our highest or best good. We would be at the same job, even if we hate the job. We would just stay there because we're comfortable there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these different things are divinely orchestrated to force an awakening, to force a catalyst for change. Something happening like weather related. These are all things that are happening more rapidly right now and more on an intensity, a higher intensity, to get people to wake up that are supposed to wake up, that are here for a purpose. Otherwise, we'd be staying at the job, that factory job for 50 years till we pass away. We would stay in that relationship that doesn't serve us or our highest good, or isn't even the reason we came here for, but we're doing it because it's comfortable and we know what it, we know it, or staying in the same place where you've lived for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and like never changing, never doing what you came here to do. So what Kimmy says over here, which I'm not going to say the word, the CO word that everybody knows from like 2020, that was a massive catalyst that woke a lot of people up. That changed everything, changed majority of our realities, to then never being able to go back to the way it was. So a lot of us were meant to wake up in this life and not to stay in the same situations and experiences, but to experience much different things, to show others that there is infinite possibilities available to us, to show others that that, yeah, you can get out of where you're in, that you don't have to be at that job that you don't like, that you don't have to be in that relationship that doesn't serve you, that you don't have to be living where you don't want to live, that you do have the capability and possibility to change that. And with the help of this divine greatness, this power, this bigger, stronger power that we're co-creating with God, divine source, prime creator, whatever you want to call it, the universe, doesn't really matter. The fact that you're developing and creating a relationship with it is the important aspect. So then you can get that. And I talked about this for years, man, about developing and creating a relationship with your higher self. And now I'm starting to realize that my higher self is God, is divine, is prime creator. But make no mistake about it, it's not going to be like God is just going to come down and hand you this map and say, this is like your layout of what you're going to do going forward. Like, the fact of the matter is, man, is these last, I would say since the 2020 thing, I would say that I've had to surrender to trusting and having deep, strong faith that I'm being guided every step of the way. Hey, Daren and friends. About to do my thing. Popped in to say hello. Sending amazing vibes your way, my friend. Same to you, man. And everybody go follow Truth Wave, man. He does guided meditations every single day, twice a day. Go to his channel, subscribe, man. Anybody watching the live or the replay, go subscribe to his channel, man. He rocks. We did a podcast together for quite a while called The Round Table, and it was amazing. And you could go watch it on his channel, my channel, and everyone that took part in it. It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun, and he's an amazing individual. So go follow him, man. So heart-centered and loving and caring and in service to others, not service to self, which is a beautiful thing, man. So if you get the opportunity, go follow Truth Wave. He's a beautiful soul, man. A brother from another mother. I love you, man, and thank you again for stopping by and sending amazing vibes our way. And I'm sending them right back to you, brother. So it's like, I'm not a religious person, man. You welcome, man. Anytime, brother. Anytime, man. So I'm not like a religious person, man, by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. And I feel, and I've said it numerous times, that at one point I turned my back on Source, on Prime Creator, you know? And now I'm realizing, ever since my dad transitioned in 2022, that's what he was referring to as, you got to believe. You got to have strong belief. And that, my friends, is how you develop that connection, that strong connection that we've all lost. Because if every single person on this planet had that connection and this strong connection in faith and belief, we wouldn't have all these outlets spreading fear and trying to get us to go down these rabbit holes, these paths that don't serve us. And so it's like, if everyone had strong faith, and again, I'm not religious. I'm not preaching religion. I'm not preaching anything. I'm just preaching to trust and believe that you are being guided. You are co-creating with the Creator. You are so powerful. And I don't know, man, this is so vital and so important as we move forward. As the collective moves forward, this is so important that we trust the process, that we trust what's unfolding, that we trust, that we have such deep trust, that we don't doubt that it's going to be even more magnificent than we could have orchestrated or even conceptualized with our mind, that it's going to be more amazing, more magnificent. But it requires deep trust in the Creator. It requires deep trust in ourselves. John Clayton, what's going on, brother? Yeah, but see, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, brother. We have made Jesus put Jesus on this pedestal. Jesus was just God in human form. And we've made it like this religious thing. Like, why can't someone be spiritual and follow Jesus and follow Jesus's, Yeshua's teachings, you know? That's okay. I mean, following Jesus doesn't mean that you have something wrong with you, man. She can still be alive and well and follow Yeshua, you know? We've made it like a religious thing versus like, just, what if it just is? What if he came down here and got, like, literally God in human form, like we all are? We just forgot. But he actually came down remembering. don't know what that means, but John Clayton, I'm not sure what you mean, but the thing of it is, man, where I'm going with this whole conversation is having faith, no matter what you believe. But the one thing you believe is that there is some higher power co-creating with you, and trusting and believing in that so strongly, because that's how so many are lost and confused, and they don't know what their purpose is and why they're here, because they lack trust and faith in a higher power. I don't know who that is. I've never heard of that person, but that's okay. Well, whoever did it, that's great. I mean, again, the word faith as well has been religionized. That's a new word I just made up, guys. It's probably not, I don't think it's in like Wikipedia or the dictionary, but religionized. It's been religionized. The word faith, the word Jesus, the word God. And then so many people turn away because they turn their backs, because they're like, well, how could I go through all this stuff? And like, there's no one to like save me or, help me or guide me, or because at the end of the day, man, it takes strong faith. It takes you developing a relationship. It takes you following that connection and not doubting it one bit. So many of us have been through so many different things and doubt the Creator, doubt Jesus, doubt any of it, doubt religion. We've turned our backs because we feel like we've had to do it all alone, and you haven't. It's just the fact that every time you disconnect and you doubt and you don't trust, you're what's the word? You're becoming farther and farther away from that connection to source, to God, to the Creator. Like, I want to say this because my dad, and I'm getting chills all down my spine, because my dad got cancer 3 different times. And in 1994, he believed so strongly that he believed in faith so strongly, like his mother did. And he healed in 6 weeks when they told him he had a week to live. But he had such strong belief. And he had 4-stage Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, man, all throughout his entire body. Okay? And healed in 6 weeks alternatively. So he was like literally shriveled up on the couch. He couldn't even move off the couch. And he told the doctor that anything that they were doing for him, he was already dying. And he trusted what he was being guided and shown to do. And the nurses even told him, man, you're doing the right thing. And literally in 6 weeks, he fully healed, and there was no sign of cancer whatsoever. And that was 1994, man. And then 2011, he had another type of cancer that he healed from. But the one thing that he taught me when I hit rock bottom in 2020 and 2017, he kept yelling and screaming from the rooftops that I had to believe. That I had to believe. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're experiencing, man, you have to trust and believe that there is a reason for it. That there is a purpose behind it. That there's a reason you're experiencing what you're experiencing. But the one thing that God is trying to get across to every single one of us is belief, faith, trust, trusting the process, trusting what's unfolding, no matter what it is, no matter how dark it is. Yeah, man. I'm going to be writing a book, with my life journey, with his life journey, man, because at the end of the day, man, it is so, if every single person on this planet trusted and believed and had faith, we would be living in a different world right now. But almost 99% doesn't trust, doesn't have faith, doesn't believe, has disconnected completely and turned their back. And God is shining, the light is so bright on this planet. That's God's hand, you know? And it doesn't have to be religious. They've religionized everything to make you turn your back, to make you turn away, to make you look the other way, so you lose that connection, so you don't trust, so you don't believe that anything is possible. The one thing my dad taught me for sure is that anything is possible. Anything. I watched him as a young kid heal, like I said, from fourth stage Hodgkin's lymphoma in his entire body, and do it completely alternatively. And the one thing that he never forgot was belief, faith. But even me, I turned my back. Even me, I disconnected. Even me, with the things I went through, I was like, how could I go through this kind of stuff? How could God let me go through this stuff and not step in? I remember, like, so strongly as a kid, questioning God, questioning faith, my faith, questioning everything, because I remember why would I lose my grandmother, my grandfather so horrifically at a young age? Why would my dad almost lose his life at a young age? Why would he leave in that way? And yeah, I remember exactly, like, I just saw a vision of, like, when I lost my connection, when I stopped believing, when I stopped trusting, seeing all the things that a lot of us have experienced. I'm 47. We've experienced a lot in the last 47 years. A lot of us went through a lot of traumatic stuff, a lot of horrific stuff that we've seen around the world, in our circles around us. And we've wondered how this could happen. And why? Because we're meant to wake up. We're meant to find our way back to that connection to source, and deeply connect to source, deeply make that connection, so that we can be guided and led every step of the way. But the more and more you continue to, like, have faith and then not have faith, and then not trust, and then doubt, and then trust, and you're pulling yourself away, and then you're coming back, and then you're pulling away, and then you're coming back. So you're not really developing that relationship. Like, a lot of us have experience with relationships with significant others. If you don't give that relationship nourishment, how do you think that relationship is going to flourish? Right? So you go back and you come away, and you go back and you come away, and then the relationship just falls away because of what you've given to it. It's the same thing with connecting to God, your higher self, connecting to Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, anybody that you resonate with, different creators that everyone has and gets to choose. And why we have experienced the things we've experienced with greed and manipulation and all these different things, because of free will. This planet is the planet of free will and choice. So yes, God will only step in to a certain extent. The same goes for our guides and angels, no matter, but now God is stepping in more than ever. And that's why you're seeing the light shining so bright on the planet. That's why you're seeing people waking up left and right. Because we've had the opportunity to kind of skate by for so long, for decades, for centuries, where humanity's in the same relationship for like 50 years and living in the same household, at the same job. And now you're starting to see people's lives get dismantled. Breakups, moving, jobs changing, because it's time. The time is now. We came here to be the catalyst for change. Yo, my brother, Dean, what's good? I'm just like channeling all this through source, through God. It's like God is using my vessel right now, you know? What is this message? Again, I think this is the same person, dude. Just following up again to to remind you about your so it's like I'm choosing to like that's what God is trying to do through all of us. And the more and more of us that wake up and reconnect to source can then use us to better the planet, to make this place a better place for us all. And that's what's happening as we go through the Great Awakening, as we usher in the new earth, as we move into the age of love, the age of Aquarius. God is wanting to use us, and the more and more we can develop that relationship, that connection back to source, the more you're going to start seeing miraculous healings, miraculous things happening on this planet. No joke. I mean, as I sit here and at this beautiful park on a beautiful Monday with you all, beautiful souls, we're living in some amazing times, man. We really, truly are. And you just have to trust, have faith that it's all happening in divine timing, all divinely orchestrated, perfectly perfect. Because the things that are happening are causing awakenings to happen. I went through numerous awakenings, man, since like 7 years old. My father having cancer when I was, young lad. My grandmother getting cancer. My grandfather having botched surgery and dying. A lot of somebody in my family committing suicide. So many different things as a young kid that I experienced, that I turned my back on faith and my connection to source. And it made me feel more lost and confused than ever. Miracles will become normal in the age of Aquarius. Yes, 1000%. That's where we're headed, man. And more of us are finding that faith and belief and reconnecting to God, to source, realizing that we're all co-creating with God. But again, the more and more you disconnect, the more and more turmoil you experience. Not to say that it's easy to connect back to God, to source. Not to say that God's going to just hand you this map that leads you every step of the way, but, you're going to have much more miracles, much more, and it's not going to be a miracle. It's just going to be something normal, like Dean said. I don't look at my dad's healing as a miracle. That's something that is normal, that is supposed to be normal. 1994, though, yeah. I mean, I could see it as being a miracle, because, again, people have forgotten where they come from. People have forgotten their faith. People think that they are who they are, that identity, and they've most definitely forgotten. But I'm here to, hopefully, I've been trying for like years now to explain this in the best possible way. And I'm in a class where we're practicing every day to reconnect to God, to source, to divine, whatever you call it, Jesus, Yeshua, it doesn't matter. It's not religious. It's just finding our connection back. And we're sitting with creating a relationship with God each and every day. And as I listen to her, it reminds me of what I've been talking about for the last several years. But just not knowing how to explain it to everyone without it being or feeling religious, or feeling like it's a religious thing that I'm preaching here and blah, blah, blah. And, it's very difficult to explain when you're walking in the guidance of God, when you're walking with God leading you every step of the way. It's very hard for people to understand and to even explain it. And I've tried to explain it like in a way that, well, that's not really me. That's not really, that person didn't really give me that paycheck. That was God's source, like me calling it in. It's like very hard to explain, Like everything just happens. Not to say that you don't have to take action, because that's the hard part to explain. When someone's completely disconnected and they just think that they're taking all the action and that everything they're doing is them. Like, I got this job, I got this paycheck and this money, I had to work at the job. Well, I'm not saying that you didn't, but it's like, yeah, I know that I'm going to get more insights and downloads to kind of explain it even in a better way. But again, I've tried to explain it over the last few years, even on my other channel, on TikTok, on YouTube, with people in my own life. It's not easy to explain that, oh, well, I didn't really go to the store and buy this smoothie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a tough one to swallow. It's a tough one to actually understand, since we've been on the masculine side, which is, I have to take the action, I have to do this, I have to do that, I gotta do this to get the rent paid, I gotta do this to, you know what I mean? Like, but I tried to explain it in a way that money didn't specifically come from that person per se. It's like the things that you did, the universe brought that to you, but then people argue and say, well, I had to like do that lecture, or I had to work at McDonald's as the fry cook, I had to work at the hotel to get that money to pay my rent. You know what I mean? It's like, I tried to explain it in a way that, well, that person was brought into my life to then lead me to that job. I took the actions, but then I was led to these different people that then led me to this different stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that is the way that I tried to explain it in the best possible way, Miracles will become normal. Oh, yeah, I read that already. So it's like, you'll either understand or you won't. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm also planting seeds, which will then open your mind and consciousness to see other possibilities. Because that's, at the end of the day, again, like, here's an example. Okay, they just gave me an example. Like, you putting out applications for a job, right? But nothing's happening. And just by you taking those actions of like, oh, I'm led to like apply to this place and this place and this place, but nothing's happening, and it's been like a year, right? Because you never can predict on God's timing or the universe's timing of when something is going to happen, and it could be a year, it could be 2 years, but you still continue to take the actions to get momentum moving. And then all of a sudden, you're led to go to this networking thing that you go to, and you meet this individual that then leads you to another person that then leads you to this person. And that's all the universe seeing what you're putting out, and then the universe brings it back. Again, it may not be 3 days from the time you start putting these resumes out. 3 days from the time you put these applications out. It could be 6 or 8 months, but you have to be open and you have to trust the process. And it is so challenging and so difficult to tell other people, yeah, I'm just trusting what God is telling me. I'm trusting what God is leading me to do, but I don't know. And then you have people in the 3D realm telling you, but you got to get out there. Like, how are you going to pay this and pay that? But it like requires such deep faith and trust. And that is the challenging part for all of us. Like, I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I'm just doing it because I feel called to do it. And then what you're doing or where you're going, like, you could go and, like, I feel called to go to this restaurant and pick this food up because I'm feeling called to eat this type of food. But then you decide to go inside, and then all of a sudden you're led to somebody who then leads you to something else, who then leads you to that something else. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it might not be right away. I mean, dang, man. Me and Luna have been trying to meet for the past 2 years. And we're just following what feels good and what feels right and where we're led to. Because of the different things that have occurred and happened that have showed us that, oh, it's not time yet. But everybody typically just says, well, why don't you just buy a ticket and fly there? Why doesn't she just buy a ticket and just fly there? Like, you know, it's like, that's what one would say. So when you actually surrender and you let go, oh, let me tell you, it's challenging. Not to say that trying to control everything isn't either. Because that's just as challenging. But we've been so used to trying to control everything, like control every single thing, every outcome, every situation. And what does that do? That like is a false sense of safety. So we're being put in these situations to completely surrender, to completely let go, and trust the process, trust what's unfolding, and have that deep, deep faith that it will all work out for your highest and greatest good. And I know that's hard, man. I'm not saying it's easy for me either. I did not choose an easy path prior to incarnating on this planet. And I know that. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that there is an easy path in the times that we're living in right now. There's a lot that's happening, a lot that's unfolding, and we have to lean on faith and belief even more than ever right now. Things right now, truthfully, are so unknown and uncertain that you have to find that connection. You have to believe. I'll say it over and over and over and over again. Check it out, guys. That's the view that I'm looking at. Sometimes you just don't know why you're doing what you're doing. You don't know what the purpose is. You don't know what the rhyme or reason is for what you're doing. You listen and you trust. And you believe that there's a reason for it. I've questioned everything you can imagine. Since I was like legitimately like 7 years old, as I said earlier. Why this? Why that? Why is the sky blue? I've questioned everything. Why did this happen to me? Why is that happening? Not everything do I get answers to. And not everything will you get answers to. And yet at the same time, we all came here to have an experience and to enjoy the journey. The journey is everything in between. Me even sitting here with you guys talking, having this conversation is a part of the journey. For a very long time, I wanted to understand everything. Sometimes, and I still do, I'm not going to deny that. And yet, Sometimes I want to figure it all out. Sometimes I want to make sense of it. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes I don't understand. And yet I just keep trusting the process, trusting what's unfolding. Like, I have to keep surrendering over and over and over and over again. But the more and more I develop a relationship, like I've said, developing a relationship with my higher self, even, the easier things are going to get, as far as me understanding, as far as me having a connection, as far as more clarity, more understanding, you know. And as I said, I've been talking about this for like the last few years. Again, I'm taking this class, which is opening up different ways for me to actually teach what I've been doing and what I've been experiencing in my own life in my own way, you know. I never want to teach something that I haven't experienced myself, or even explain something that I haven't experienced myself, you know. So if it's not something I've experienced, then I don't want to even, you know, teach it. Because everything that I experience, or everything I share, is from my own experiences. You know, what I've had to experience. I mean, you could like teach something out of a book, you know. It's just like the same thing like with the breath work. I've been doing breath work for years now, and everything I teach regarding breath work and breathing is from my own experiences and what I've had to endure and experience. So I've enjoyed this conversation with you all, and you know, there will be, I guess, after processes, I usually takes like a day, and then you can go back and watch the whole live if you feel called to. I would definitely highly suggest it, man. There was a lot of information that was being used, and had the information come through from divine prime creator. A lot of powerful messages in this live in this past hour. So if you haven't, if you didn't watch the whole thing, if you weren't here for it, I highly suggest you go back and watch it. It's super potent and powerful, and you'll definitely get something out of it, to support you on your journey. You know, just listen, man, just keep the faith, man. All I can tell you is from my own experiences, man, and the things I've had to surrender to, even in the last couple years. You just got to trust, man. You just got to believe. And that, my friends, is the key to life, to having just an amazing experience. You've got to trust, man. You've got to build that connection with your faith and your belief in something that you can't see, something that you can't touch, something that you may feel sometimes. You know, if your senses are opened and, you know, and your psychic abilities and all of it, yeah, you may sense it, you may feel it, you may visualize it, you may not. But you have to trust in something that you cannot see physically, like going to a medical facility, and, you know, and because that's something physical that you're going to, and someone's talking to you with words through their mouth, that doesn't make it, you know, oh yeah, that's the right thing to do then, you know. You got to start opening the possibilities to the unseen world, is what I'm getting at. Because more and more miracles are going to happen that are going to be normal, like Dean said, and that are not going to be something that you can tangibly touch or see. Just as I said with my dad healing in 6 weeks, that no one could believe it was possible. No one. And it happened, and it was possible, and it did. And he was cancer-free for over 25 years. You got to start opening your mind, opening your heart to things you cannot see. Because more and more people are going to be experiencing that, and more people are experiencing it. But the ones that believe, that deeply believe, whether it be you're struggling financially, there's some kind of illness, you lost someone close to you, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, you got to believe in something beyond what you can physically feel, touch, see, hear. That's in your corner, that's supporting you and guiding you every step of the way. So I hope that this live was helpful to someone out there. And if you haven't already, man, tap the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're so close to the watch hours needed. Me and Luna are have such deep gratitude and are grateful for just everything. And yeah, I can't be more thankful and more grateful to you know, to connect with so many of you beautiful souls that come on these lives and share your vulnerability and are vulnerable. And yeah, just thank you for the opportunity to be open enough to listen and to receive guidance. And again, as I said, more and more of us will be experiencing these different phenomenons. I don't even want to call it that, because it's going to be normal, and it is normal, just something that we've not normalized. If you can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't touch it, then it's not real. And that's farther from the truth. And yeah, I just hope that you have a fantastic, phenomenal day. And yeah, tap that like button, the thumbs up in the top right hand corner. I'm grateful for each and every one of you, man. Hopefully this video gets into the algorithm and more people can find it, because there's a lot of insights and wisdom in this live today that it deserves millions of views. And I hope that you share it out. I hope that you share it out to someone you love, someone you think needs the video or needs to hear this message. You're just doing them good, you're helping yourself, and you're helping the planet, and we're changing the planet together, you know, by each and every one of us stepping out and you know, putting ourselves out there. And no matter what anyone says, you know, I could have listened to the individual that was on here earlier that was doing gaslighting, and I could have listened and not allowed God to work through me. And instead, I continued to forge forward, and I know that this message had helped or will help someone by me continuing and not allowing someone to, dim my light. I didn't allow it. I didn't give it energy. I didn't give it my time or energy. And that's how we change the world, man. We keep going no matter what anybody says. We keep going because we feel called to keep going, because we know we have a message to bring forward. No matter what anybody says, oh, you're not going to be able to do that. You can't do that. What are you talking about? That's not true. That's not real. Okay, well, if you believe it, it's real. No matter what anybody says. So I encourage you to put yourself out there. I encourage you to allow God to use good for, to support the collective. So with that being said, man, I love you all. We're going to start getting more videos out, going live more. Just stay tuned, stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed. You hit that notification bell. I'm back at it. So, I am back at it. And I really enjoyed this live. It really, was super beneficial. And, I know somebody out there will hear the message, will receive it when the time is right. And I love you all, man. Take care of yourselves. If you're not following us, follow us on all social media platforms at Daren and Luna. Check out our website, www.darenandluna.com. We got new apparel that's going to be going up on the website as soon as Luna gets back. So stay tuned for that as well. Again, go to www.darenandluna.com and follow us. There's a free newsletter you can sign up for. Sign up for the free newsletter. We have 2 breathwork classes starting on the 23rd of August and the 30th. Go to our website, sign up for those. You don't want to miss these powerful breathwork classes. It will change your life. I love you all, man, from the bottom of my heart. Take care of yourselves and each other. I will see you on the next live, in the next video, somewhere around the world. Until then, let's go!